Well, I hope you're having a great week. This time we're going to talk about session 5 in Song of Solomon, the art of intimacy, God's blessing on sex. So, actually, this is the big one where we're addressing sex. Now, Tommy Nelson starts out the question of why is it that we don't really talk about sex in the church? Because really, we need to understand what God's view on sex, and really that God creates sex and he sees it as a beautiful thing in the context of marriage. So we really want to address that issue, that the importance of talking about that sex in the church, but also we want to talk about, which he doesn't address as much in the video, but even at home, I think parents also, you need to be talking to your children about the issue of sex, and children and teenagers, you should be talking to your parents about this issue too. In this session too, we want to hit on as leaders the importance of the students talking with their parents and with us, what God's view is on sex, but also we want to talk about how does a man treat his bride, especially on his wedding night. It is a pretty descriptive passage about their wedding night, and but the beauty of it in the context of how God created it. And really at the end of the session too, it talks about in Song of Solomon chapter 5 verse 1 about how they hear a voice, and it's God's voice, which saying that he really blesses and really affirms a biblical sexual relationship in the context of marriage. Kind of one verse I really want you to nail at the end too is the idea of saving yourself for marriage to have sex. In Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 25, Jeremiah says, "The wrongdoings have kept these away; your sins have deprived you of good." And so when we give into sexual temptation before marriage, we're depriving ourselves of good. And then we don't want to leave it there, because ideally we want people to wait for marriage. But if you've already messed up sexually, or if a student has, we want them to find the hope and the forgiveness that they can find through the gospel, that Jesus did pay for their sin and forgive them their sin, and they can have a new start with Christ. So really those are the things I want you to address. Look over the questions and see which ones would fit your group most as you talk in your family time, and hope you have a great week. Thanks.